Good morning. Um, I had to reflect on why I do these videos and why I do these videos. And the reason I do these videos is because that it's conducive to the goal. In order to do what I want to do, an inversion of the hierarchies, this means ideological segregation. I have to find people that think like me. And the best way to find people that think like me is teach them how to think like me. And that's why yesterday the universe forced me, even though I don't ever look at how many views my videos get or don't get. Yesterday I noticed, I didn't notice, someone asked me direct out, how many views do your videos get? So I looked and it's very small. And I said to myself, well, I had to think about this for the day and I had to do introspection and I had to say to myself, well, I haven't been very nice. I haven't been very nice. And I said to myself, then I had to think, that everything is choice. And this is what I tell you, everything is choice. And do I want to continue on the path I'm on, or do I want to be nice? Do I want to be like Eckhart Tolle and tell you that everything is lovely, everything is consciousness, be consciousness. In other words, kill the ego. And I've been sort of playing devil's advocate because that'll only work to a certain degree. But as soon as the shit hits the fan, it all falls apart. It's like I met a fella here that does Buddhism. In this hostel, I met a fella that balls deep in Buddhism. He knew all the Buddhist scripts inside out. But then so he sat here for 3 days and talked about Buddhism. And then on the fourth or fifth day he was telling me how he went home to visit his mother in Canada or wherever it was. Went home to visit his mother, and the mother was on her last legs. But the sister went around putting dibs on everything, she put her name on the hoover, she put her name on the table, she started putting her name on anything of value, and started saying, oh, I'm claiming this, much to your man. But your man got very stressed out and very aggravated, and he got stressed, angry, aggravated, everything. He started saying, this is not on, this is unacceptable, and everything else. And then after the mother passed, he was gifted some money to enter into a lengthy legal battle with his siblings over who owned what. And I was just sitting there where the fuck did all the Buddhism go? Where did all the Buddhism go? Because all the Buddhism, that respect for life and everything is kindness and goodness and everything else. And this your man, that's called grand till the shit hit the fan. And it's like a film I was watching last night on the Tibetan monks. And there was a few things to be taken from the Tibetan monks. Number one, they never used to allow in any foreigners. But two foreigners, an Austrian and a German, they managed to sneak in because the war was on and they were going to be imprisoned if they went back to India. They were climbing the Himalayas. But anyway, to make a long story short, they got into the main city in Tibet. And this is alchemy. The two of them, they were never exposed themselves to the outside world at all. They completely excluded themselves from the outside world, and they lived in this harmonious little life of where everything was perfect and everything was good and everything was no embracing the dark side. There was no evil. They were all very, very, very nice and very good people. And then the Chinese came and imprisoned them and burned them and tortured them. Pure evil descended upon them. And it's the same as the Christians and the Vikings came. The Christians came, the Vikings came and raided all the monasteries and everything. It's the very same thing. It's the very same as the Indians enjoying themselves and living in accordance with nature. But then the Spaniards come, like the Mayans, the Aztecs, and this is dialectics. But this is pure evil descends upon them, and this is why you have to seek to understand. And this is why the first few videos I teach understanding, and seek to understand, and then I give you the opportunity to understand. So I teach you the philosophy of it, and then I give you the opportunity to practice this philosophy. Now most people fuck off when we got to that stage. When they're hearing all the nice things, that's all lovely. Oh, this resonates with me. But that's not practical. my point is that the psychologist teaching you how to be so nice and how to be so nice and how to be lovely and everything else, it's not practical when the shit hits the fan. This whole fucking thing of acceptance and non-judgment and everything else. They want to spout this shit, but when the shit hits the fan, it all goes out the window. And my point is that in order to understand nature, you must understand the inherent role of evil. You must ask yourself, why did the Vikings come? Why did the Germans do this? Because everything is rational order. You have to start understanding the evil in nature and not trying to create this utopia, which is never going to happen. It's completely impractical because of binary opposites. A utopia can never happen. Everybody has their own roles. That's like saying, I want to exterminate all the honey badgers, I want to exterminate all the jackals, I want to exterminate all the coyotes because I don't like them. They're evil. I want to take away all the snakes as well because they're all evil. I don't like them. But they all have a role. And the thing is, if you want to understand nature, you have to understand each individual's role, including my role. But you have to start asking why and seeking to understand. And this is what I'm trying to teach. And then when you understand and you start seeking to understand, instead of posing your morality on everything, and instead of going, oh, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, then evil's going to descend upon you, and you would be no position to your tranquil mind to be out the fucking window. My mind is tranquil because I do understand it. I'm able to accept everybody's role and look at and appreciate that he has his role, I have my role, but then I can mitigate it as well, and I can determine the nature of change. But this is like we're not only entering into an age of reason, we're entering into an age of wars, because like war is the fastest catalyst for social reform. But even though, like I say to the hippies here in the summer, if you truly understand, if you have a tranquil mind, in order to have a tranquil mind, I said, you can't lock yourself up in a room and say, only want to see the good things, the beautiful things, the nice things, because then the minute you come out of that room, you're going to say to yourself, oh, this is fucking all evil, this is horrible, and once you're exposed to this, the tranquil mind is out the window. But what I say, if you seek to understand, then you don't go and lock yourself up in the room, you go to war and to determine the nature of change. But war doesn't have to be your normal perception of war, where you go out to slaughter everybody. Not that won't happen, but the rules of engagement have changed. Like, for example, here in Bulgaria, we have American imperialism, where they just come along and say, oh, you're poor as shit, here, let me give you some menial tasks to do, and basically you can be our new slaves. We'll give you all our customer service work, because it's relatively cheap to do here. And at the same time as building call centres and exploiting your labour, we'll sell you coffee, American beer, American clothes, and aggressively market this. And then people coming out of an age of communism, which haven't developed a faculty of reason because the state have been wiping their arse, are susceptible to this aggressive marketing. And then they go out and they start buying all this shit that they don't need. And it just sends all the money back to America. Back to American companies. So America's on a win-win, and this is what you call American imperialism, where America more or less comes in and makes this state their new bitch. And that's why I'm sitting here, to do something different, to change this perspective, to say that no, we have to focus on our own shit, we have to mitigate this shit, we have to negate this. Negation of the negation. This is dialectics. So the Americans coming here doing this is thesis, antithesis, and the synthesis then would depend on how we mitigate it here, how we mitigate, what we do, how we move against this. But then again, patriarchy is also dialectics, oppression of the women and more or less the men, not as I pointed out, not addressing their insecurities, but just making it a man's world, And what I'm saying is, dialectics is, now we'll have an inversion of the hierarchies, but for this, as I say, the first principle in war is selection and maintenance of the aim. And this is why I share the aim. that we all sing off the same hymn sheet. So the first thing is selection and maintenance of the aim, and the second thing then is use your enemy's dynamic against them. But if you want to use your enemy's dynamic against them, you must understand them. You must nearly know your enemy better than you know yourself, or even as good as you know yourself. Because if you understand nature, then you do know yourself. This is why I say, what's your concept of I? What's your concept of I? And I see them in psychology going, know thyself, and spouting off this know thyself shit. But then you don't know yourself. You only know the concept that they create for you. The concept that they create for you. You know what I mean? This, they create you. You ought to be this, you ought to be that. You ought to make plans, and you ought to work 14 hours a day. You ought to work 15 hours a day. You ought to, this is how you make success. Be successful, be successful, be successful. The illusion of success. And that's what I call the sirens of Odessa. What's what causes people to their misery, to their doom. And then when they arrive here, fully trapped, enslaved by this illusion of success. With this, make a plan, work harder. You know, this, be successful. But this perception of success, this illusion of success, entraps you. And then you're fucking miserable and depressed, and then you come back for what the Christians used to say, more spiritual guidance. In other words, no smoking, no wanking, no everything else. Anything that's conducive to a transcendent state is illegal and banned, because Christianity and capitalism are hand in hand. It's like the same way as if you used to translate the Bible, they used to burn you at the stake, because they wanted to hold the balance of power. So they negate any threat to this power. And this is why I'm saying anything that's conducive to a transcendent smoking, taking drugs, anything that's conducive to transcendent is illegal. They absolutely don't want this shit, and they make it unholy and bad and fucking, they teach you self-control. Self-control is choosing for yourself, establishing your own values and defining your own morality. You decide what's wrong, you decide how to act according to your nature. But then for this you have to notice the true evil. And the true evil is oppression and slavery and manipulation and it's the will to power and greed. That's the true evils. The will to power and greed. So that's just to remind you again that the purpose of these videos, it's not to entertain you, I tell you that. And it's not, I'm not here to lick your arse and make money. And this was the choice I had to make yesterday. I said, well, you know, are you going to change the content of your videos to get more views, to get more likes? Am I fuck? No, that's not my goal. That's not my aim. I'm not here to entertain you. And I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you the truth. Even though some people don't want the truth and don't like the truth. They want to put their head on, la 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 la. You stay doing that. But make yourself a sheep and the wolves will eat you. And I promise you that. Good morning.